Hello everyone, welcome to Twisted Serenity with Mimi. Thanks for clicking on my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I created some gingerbread themed decor for your home on a budget. I had so much fun creating these decor pieces. Honestly, I went to the stores and all the gingerbread themed stuff like was wiped off the shelf. I looked online, it was mostly sold out. I even went to Hobby Lobby and I grabbed a couple pieces, and the guy forgot to put it inside my bag, so I was disappointed. But might as well. I love to create things, so I might as well show you guys how I created a couple things. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope I give you guys some inspiration. Please don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you like what you see. Now sit back and relax to craft with me. Let's get started. Okay, so I have like this wood shaped circle thing from Dollar Tree. Obviously, I'm gonna cut off the string and I'm going to fill up the hole with some spackle and just sand it down. I'm going to paint it with this color because at first I could not find none of my paints. So I mixed some brown and some red up just to give it more of a gingerbread color. And I painted the whole entire thing and I just let it dry. Okay, so now I wanted to play Picasso, and I decided to draw on a little gingerbread face. So basically I'm going to draw the eyes, the nose, the mouth. And at first when I draw it, like I did the same thing when I did a DIY with the man in the moon face. When you're first drawing it, before you actually paint it in, it really doesn't look like much. But once you get it painted in, it looks pretty good. So basically I did that. Remember, you don't have to draw it. I just try to get a little bit more confident in drawing and painting on. You can always print it out with your Cricut because I know they have SVGs, or you could trace it using graphite paper. Oh my gosh, she is so cute. So now I have this ribbon and I made a bow out of it. I believe I grabbed this ribbon from Walmart last year. And I made one of my little bows, which I'm not confident to make on camera yet. That was it. She is so cute. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, for our next one, I have these wood pieces. They came off of one of those fence pieces from Dollar Tree. And I had used them in a different project. I broke a couple of them, and these are the ones I had left over. So I'm going to paint one in the caramel by Apple Barrel, the ivy green by Apple Barrel, the candy apple by Apple Barrel, and the nutmeg brown by Apple Barrel. I paint them and I let them dry, and then I printed out these decals on my Cricut, and I'm just going to transfer them onto each piece. I do point the arrows in different directions because we are going to make like a little pole sign, and I didn't want all the arrows to face one way. Like, is it a pole sign, a street sign, a direction sign, or whatever it is? So then I am going to take not a dowel, but it's a screw stick from Dollar Tree, you know, like the roasted marshmallow screw sticks. And then I take a dowel cap and like this little wood block that I had in my craft pile and a piece of fabric from Dollar Tree. So basically I'm going to put some hot glue on there, and then I'm going to use a popsicle stick to smooth it out because this is fabric, and I'm going to wrap the little screw stick with the fabric. Okay, so we have that part down. We take our little dowel cap and we are going to stain it using some Waverly wax. And I also stained the little woodblock piece. Now it does have like a shiny finish, so I do go over it with the Waverly wax twice. You could use anything for the base. You could use tumbler and tower blocks. That's what I was going to use at first. I was going to just attach a couple together. So remember, use what you have. Don't go out and buy things. Honestly, just use what you have. I use so much. Like lately, I've been using so much of what I have because I have a little too much and I need to use it up. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm just attaching the little dowel top to the top of it, the screw stick. And I was shocked that fit perfect. It was like a perfect fit. Now, I'm going to make a little bit of a mess with my hot glue like I always do to attach that onto the base. And I'm just, I put some hot glue, like extra hot glue around it to hold it on. And I just hold it in place for a while. Now, once I have like my little pole all set up, I grab all my little sign pieces and I just add some hot glue to the middle of it and I just start attaching them on. And I don't put them all straight. I do put them in different directions just so it could look, I don't know, I just like the way it looks like and going in like little different directions. Now I wanted to have a little bit of a snowy scene, so I'm grabbing my clear craft glue, and then I have this like mix of my faux snow. So basically it's Epsom salt and like the faux snow from Dollar Tree, because I give it that that little glittery feel. So I cover the base of it, and then I start to cover like the signs, like the arrows, and I don't cover them all like the same with the faux snow. I do cover where I think the snow would fall. And that is it for this one, you guys. I love the way this one came out. Okay, you guys, so I have 2 packs of the styrofoam rounds, the 2 packs, so it's 4 in total. And I am just going to take all 4 of them and I'm going to stack one on top of another because we are going to make a little gingerbread faux cake. So as we know, Dollar Tree stuff does not always come like in the best symmetry. I don't know if I mean whatever, but basically, so one of them was like really smaller than the other, so I pushed that one to the front just to make it look a little bit more even. Now here we go with the spackle. This is the Dollar Tree spackle, of course, so I'm adding my paint and my water just to make it a little bit more smoother and to basically smoother and a little bit more whiter because this one does tend to dry in like gray. So I grab a popsicle stick and I'm just going to cover the sides in the top using our spackle. I try to make it as smooth as I can. I don't go perfect with it, but that's what it is about crafting. It's those imperfect perfections. And honestly, let's be real. I am no Betty Crocker. So I can't do a real cake like this. Mind that I am not going to do a faux cake all cutesy looking. But I try my best. And my kids actually love the way this one came out. So I'm happy with it. Okay. So I got these like little Christmas tree. I'm going to use them as sprinkles. They're like little Christmas trees, like little embellishment things. And I got them at Hobby Lobby. Now, I don't always get the chance to go to Hobby Lobby because the nearest Hobby Lobby, like near me, is almost an hour. And when I went this time, it was like the worst experience ever. Like something had fallen in the aisle that I was in. It wasn't me, but it had fallen and almost like fell on top of me and the baby. And then when I was so disappointed because I had bought a gingerbread garland and a couple other like small things, and I don't know what happened, but the guy forgot to give it to me. So I was like super upset, and I called back and they said, we go inside the store or whatever, but I wasn't going to drive all the way out there again, and I was just going to order it online. And when it comes to find out, like the stuff that I wanted was sold out online. So it's a bummer. It is what it is. Even though I love Hobby Lobby, I don't know. Anyways, so these are all just fake clay sprinkles that I made, honestly using Dollar Tree clay. And I'm doing it like this because I had to stop because the baby had needed me and my cake got a little bit dried out. So I did have to put a little bit of some Mod Podge onto that little pokey tool and then put like the sprinkles on. And now these little circle things, they're supposed to be like chocolate chip type things. I added those, and then I took a crayon and like my little shredder thing, and I wanted it to look like kind of like a ganache chocolate topping type thing. So I did shred the crayon and I did put that on the faux cake as well. And whatever I had left over from like not the shredding, I did take up the crayon and I did cut it into pieces to look like chocolate chunks. So that's all. I'm gonna just like add like the shredded pieces and the chunk pieces all over the cake. Okay, so I know I have some like little faux mini peppermint sprinkles in my stash. Where they're at, for the life of me, I cannot find them. So I just took like whatever white and red clay that I had and I just swirled it together to make it look like little peppermints. They don't look exactly like little peppermints, but it gets the job done. And I just put those on, some on the top of the cake and then some at the sides of the cake to go around the cake as well. This little stem piece with the white and the red like little ball picks. That was actually one item that did come inside my bag at Dollar Tree, so I was excited about that. And then once I did that, I had this piece of a half of a ball. I had to use the other half in a mini topper from like a previous project that I did, so I had this half left over. So I just glued it right to the middle of the top because I wanted to give this cake a little bit of height. Now I'm just going to add my spackle around it. And once I add my spackle, I'm basically going to take the same toppings that I use on the cake and I'm going to put those all over the top of the spackling as well. I wanted a cute little topper, so I have this little clay gingerbread ornament from Hobby Lobby and I just placed them right on top. Now I had, like I said, some white and red clay pieces left over, so I just took whatever strips I had left and I made some faux little peppermint sticks and some faux candy canes. Like I said, they're not perfect, and I just stuck them behind my little gingerbread man, and that was it for this one, you guys. I'm in love the way this came out, and my kids love it as well, so that's what matters and that's what counts. If you guys recreate something like this, remember you guys could use whatever colors, whatever you guys have, make it creative, have fun with it. So I have these fork knives and spoons, and these are from the 4th of July. And I just took out the spoons and I took the spackling that I had left from the cake and I just piped the spackling onto all the spoons. Now I wanted to give the spackling a little glittering look, so I have this glitter from Easter and I'm using the white one and I'm just going to add some of that glitter right onto the spackling. Now I want everything to flow together, so I'm taking those Christmas tree like little faux, what I'm using as faux sprinkles, and I'm also using the green ones as well, and I'm going to put those on top of all the spackle of our spoons. Now I didn't want to press hard to it onto these spoons for the spackle to like get squished, so one trick that I did learn, I took some aerosol hairspray and I sprayed it onto the spackle. And then I just placed, the fake little sprinkles right on there. And I'm also placing I rolled some of the red and white clay together to make it look like some peppermint balls. And I made some faux little clay men. And this is the clay all this is from Dollar Tree that I actually had for a while now. I made some little clay gingerbread men and I stuck those all onto the spoon. And I also stuck some faux little candy canes onto the spoons. Now, of course, I want a little bit more embellishment. So I have this ribbon from Dollar Tree. And I made some little bows. And I glued them right onto the spoons. And that is it for this one, you guys. Now, this one is so easy to create and so inexpensive. Honestly, if you would go, it's $1.25 just to get the picture frame, but I already had it in my stash, so this one was completely free. So this is the frame from Dollar Tree, and that's like a ceramic piece inside the frame, and the frame looks like wood, but it's not real wood. It does have a shiny finish. So I did paint the ceramic piece with 2 coats of white chalk paint, and then I took the frame and I painted it with 2 coats, actually 3 coats of the Apple Barrel candy apple paint. Okay, so I have my pieces dried. So this little ceramic piece does come out, like pop out by itself. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more, like holding, like to hold it a little bit more in there. I'm just going to take my hot glue, run it around like the inside of the border, and just pop that little ceramic piece right inside there. Now, once I did that, I printed out these decals using my Cricut, and I just transferred them right onto our little ceramic frame piece. Now remember, if you don't have a Cricut, you could use stencils, stickers, you could use, graphite paper, like I said, you could handwrite it, or you could just print it out right from a printer and, put them onto there. I have a Cricut. It's not one of the newer Cricuts. I'm getting a little bit more used to it, so I do try to use it as much as I can. Now, I have these wood gingerbread pieces from Dollar Tree, and I saved you guys a torture of watching me paint it, and I just cut him right in half. Now, I cut him right in half, and I'm just going to paint the spots, where you can see where I cut it, and then I'm going to glue him right onto my sign, and that is it for this one, you guys. Now this one you can put on a shelf or a tier tray. I'm definitely going to put this one on my tier tray. I love the way it came out. Okay, you guys, for this next one is so quick. Honestly, if you blink, you're going to miss it. So I have 2 Jenga blocks. Yes, Jenga blocks that I picked up from Goodwill. They're not tumbling tower blocks, which you could use tumbling tower blocks, but I do have Jenga blocks that I got for only $1 at Goodwill. So I'm going to paint one with the red candy apple paint from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to paint one in the color white. So the Apple Barrel paints, you just do have to give them a couple coats just to make them, that good solid color. Now, once I have them dried, I know you're probably thinking white on white, you can't even see it, but I'm actually using this as a stencil. My red one right now says sugar, and my white one says spice. So I'm going to transfer them on there, and once I transfer them on there, I'm going to paint my little white Jenga block red and our red Jenga block white. So basically vice versa. You're going to reverse it and paint them the opposite colors. Okay, so now I am going to start to remove our stencil vinyl, and look at how it reveals. I love the way that it looks, and I love it has those opposite colors. Now you could do the vinyl and transfer on the words instead of do it like this. I just love the way this looks. And what's awesome about this project that you do not need a Cricut. You can honestly use Dollar Tree stickers to create this project. And that is it for this one, you guys. I told you it was so quick and easy. Okay, so we're staying on the track of the Jenga blocks, and this time I'm grabbing 6 of them. I am going to take 2 of them, and I'm going to paint 2 of them in the candy apple red. Then I'm going to take 2 of them and paint them in white, and then 2 of them and paint them in the folk art cinnamon color. Now once I let them dry, I am going to attach the 2 red together, the 2 cinnamon together, and the 2 white together. Now I'm going to stack them one on top of another. I am going to take the red one, and I'm going to put the white on top of the red, and then I'm going to put the cinnamon on top of the white. And if you can't tell by now, we are making a little mini book stack. Okay, so I transferred on fresh baked gingerbread using my Cricut. The fresh and gingerbread is in white, and the baked is in the color black. And I just transfer those on. I'm just weeding out the little pieces. Now, once I'm done doing that, I am going to take my puffy paint or fabric paint from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to drip it, making it look like icing coming down the top of the front of the books. Now you're going to see me doing this and I'm going to embellish it. And I'm going to only embellish it a little bit at the front. Once I completed it, I stood staring at it, and I decided to do the whole top of the book stack instead. As you see, I added my glitter, I added my faux little sprinkles, and I thought it was perfectly fine like that, like at first. But I stood staring at it a while, and I was like, no, I really want to do the whole entire thing. So I take my little fabric paint, I don't know why I said little, but my little fabric paint again, and I'm basically going to put it on the top of my little faux book stack. Now, I was running out of puffy paint, so I just made some squiggly lines, and then I just took my little pokey tool, and I used that very lightly just to spread it all around like icing. And I repeat the process. I add the glitter, my fake little sprinkles, and then I add this little clay gingerbread man. Like I said, I made these out of the Dollar Tree clay. And I've been having a Christmas tree like just sitting on my little Twisted Serenity sign. And it's decorated like a fake little gingerbread Christmas tree. So I decided to add it to the top of that as well. And this came out so stinking cute. I love the way that this came out. Okay, you guys, I promise we're getting to the end. I have this little rolling pin. Where I got it from, I have no idea. But it is in my stash. Now this is another simple one. I take it and I'm going to paint the middle with the Apple Barrel Candy Apple. That's the color I've been using throughout this whole entire video. And then I am going to stain the ends of them with my watered down, I'm going to repeat it, watered down Waverly Wax. Now I printed out this on my Cricut and it just says gingerbread, and I honestly looked up like gingerbread font and on thefont.com, and I downloaded this one and I just transferred it on right to my little rolling pin, and which I love. Those fonts are free, yay, I don't have to pay for them, and I just love the way that this font looks. Then, okay, so once that was transferred on, I took one of those little clay pieces that I made using the clay from Dollar Tree, and I just glued it right onto the little rolling pin. And then my little gingerbread man I found was like a little too plain, so I had like one of those little swirly pops. I did glue that onto the gingerbread man, and I found it so cute. Okay, so for this one, I am just starting off with a piece of poster board, and then I am going to take this like cylinder shape that I have, because I'm telling you, to draw shapes, I'm horrible. So I'm just using this as a template, and I'm just going to trace it out, and then I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, so now I take my piece of my poster board, and I just try to roll it up as a cone. Not as a cone, basically as a Christmas tree, but we are rolling it up to the shape of a cone as much as I can. And I do try to point the top a little bit. Obviously, poster board is more rougher than cardstock. This might be a little bit easier to do with cardstock. Okay, so once the cone is formed, I grabbed this cork sheet and I drew out the same shape. So basically, I'm going to go over it. Now, this cork sheet, I'm going to cover the cone. This cork sheet has an adhesive, so I didn't peel the whole thing at once. I peeled about half of it, and then I rolled it, and then I continued to peel it off while I was rolling it slowly. I don't know, the cork sheet for me is like a gingerbread cookie type texture. So I wanted to give it more of that gingerbread feel, so I grabbed some Mod Podge and I lightly brushed over the cork sheet, and then I added some glitter on top just to give it like that glitter feel, like I said, like that cookie feel. I didn't want it to look too dull. So I grabbed my Dollar Tree puffy paint once the Mod Podge was dry, and I just started making like little squiggly lines just to make it look like icing. So I do it around, the bottom of the whole tree, and I work my way up. If you guys have made it this far in the video and you like what you have been seeing, please take a second and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you have subscribed to my channel, I just want to let you know I thank you and I really do appreciate you. So remember, hit that like button, and comment your favorite down below so far. Okay, you guys, so I grabbed my glitter and I just want my frosting to look a little bit more candy-like, or my icing I should say. So I'm shaking my glitter out and I didn't realize, you know, it has like the little hole where a little bit comes out in the big one. The big one, like I guess, was on the purple, like on the corner of it, so it just started pouring down. But I liked the different tones of all the different colors. It looked more, you know, Candyland type feel, so I left it as it was. So I could not, like I said, I could not find a bunch of my Christmas stuff, like or paints and stuff like that. For the life of me, find my red puffy paint. So I just grabbed like this little dotting tool and I made some red little polka dots, and then I grabbed my puffy paint again and I made some white little polka dots, and then I topped this off with a peppermint candy that I made. Basically it's clay and then I painted on like the swirlies, and that was it for this one, you guys. Okay, we're on to the last one. For those of you who love tier tray decor, you are going to love this one, my opinion. So I'm just starting off with popsicle sticks. There's no random count, but in the beginning I am starting off with 4 of them. So on the 4 of them, I'm going to take it and I'm going just basically to cut off the tip of one end of each of them. Okay, so I'm grabbing 2 of them and I'm basically grabbing the end parts that we cut, and I'm just attaching some glue and I'm gonna put those 2 together. Trust me, we are going to use a little bit more reinforcement to hold that together. As you can see, I'm going to cut a little piece and I'm basically going to glue that little piece right on to the parts where we had cut down, just to give it more reinforcement. So we are going to do that to the other side as well. We are going to make a little mini ladder for a tier tray. So basically we attach the ends and then we cut a little piece and we glue it on top so we could basically reinforce the part that we had cut down. Now I'm just taking more of my popsicle sticks and I'm going to just measure how wide I want my ladder, and I'm going to cut down 5 pieces, and those are going to be basically the steps of my little mini ladder. Now I'm just taking all 5 pieces of my ladder and I'm going to start attaching them to like the steps. I'm going to start attaching them to the side ladder pieces. You guys can see what I'm doing. I started off with the middle because it does give you, since we did attach those little back pieces for more reinforcement, it does give it like a little bulge of height right inside the middle. So I started off with the middle just to reinforce there. I did 2 at the bottom and then 2 at the top. I didn't measure it completely. I just basically eyeballed it. Like I said, I'm not really a measuring person. And if you want to measure, if it bugs you, go right ahead and do it. So once I had my little steps on, I grabbed my white chalk paint and I painted my entire little ladder. Now, I wanted to basically cover, you know, like the gaps of like where the steps of the ladder are at. So I have this twine and I'm going to do like little X's using this twine, basically on each corner of each step. Okay, now it's time to really dress up this little mini ladder. So I have my little 2 wood gingerbread men that I already painted, a little mini wreath that I made, and I have these little 2 pieces of fabric. The red and white stripe one was from Dollar Tree, and then the hot cocoa one was from Walmart. So I cut little strips because I wanted it to look like little blankets. So I take the 2 little strips of fabric and I just throw them right over a step. And I did fray. One of my subscribers did tell me, because I was saying fringe, it is frayed. I don't know why I was saying fringe. I did fray this fabric. Basically, I just ripped off the end pieces and I pulled it off. And then I attached my little mini wreath to the tippity top of the ladder, and then I attach each of the gingerbread men, one woman and one man, to each side of the ladder. And I love the way this came out. This is so Christmassy, and I could even change the fabrics if I'm going to change the theme of like my tier tray or anything, which I love. Let me know what you guys think of this one. I really hope I gave you guys some inspiration to make some nice decor pieces without breaking the bank. And I want to thank everyone for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. And like I always say, this world could throw you twists and turns, but always make good choices. To the next one, you guys.